You guys watched me unbox and assemble my S3 range cart a few months ago, and now I'm back with a full review. Bottom line up front though, this is probably going to be the most positive review on this channel because I have absolutely no gripes about this cart. This review will be so positive, in fact, that I need to make it abundantly clear that S3 range carts did in fact send this cart to me free of charge, but if it had been a stipulation that I would have to pay full MSRP if I wanted to keep it, I would absolutely do that. It would be money well spent. That said, let's actually get into why I've been so particularly thrilled with this product, why it's worth the price tag for me personally, and why it may or may not be for you. First, who is this for and who isn't it for? It's for anyone that wants an organized and streamlined way to go to and from the range. If you go to the range just a couple of times a year, you may not necessarily see the benefits, but if you're even at the range once a month, this is a really nice thing to have. Before I started using this cart, I was using this cart. Our household sought out a range cart when both my husband and I started attending matches together. It was becoming way too much of a hassle to pick up our bags, our ammo, guns, coats, water, etc., between each and every stage. And a cart became very much needed. And I'd seen plenty of shooters with both of these different kinds of carts, but one of them is significantly less cost than the other. So of course at the time we went with the lower cost option. Some things I didn't like about our first cart was that it was top heavy when everything was in it, and we actually nearly dumped all of our gear more than once between stages. Also basically a giant bucket, which you would think having everything open in one big box would make it easier to access, but what ultimately ended up happening was spilled water, dumped 9mm in the bottom like cereal under a child's car seat, and having to dig for small parts like my Uplula mag loader. It was definitely a step up from carrying everything, but we absolutely encountered the limits of that gear choice pretty quickly. And the last thing was just in order to use it, we had to take everything in and out of it before and after using it. And then when we got home, everything had to go somewhere. With the S3 range cart, it's not top heavy at all, and the wide wheels make it really easy to maneuver on uneven surfaces. It's also really stable and has a seat, so I don't have to be bothered to bring a camp chair with me when I know I'm gonna wanna sit. It has multiple compartments, and each compartment has its own organizational features. This is probably one of the big reasons why it's so practical. The other cart was, again, just a giant bucket, whereas this cart is compartmentalized so that you know where everything is and everything has a place. The other cart also required us to take everything in and out, whereas this cart doubles as a storage solution for regular use range items like ammo, staple gun, magazines, eye and ear protection, trauma medical supplies, anything else that you would want to have with you on the range. My husband and I actually share this range cart when we're going to matches together, so it's often holding multiple pistols, probably a long gun, 8+ magazines, and at least a couple hundred rounds. I had already been considering making the investment into a more purpose-built range cart when S3 reached out to me a couple months ago, and with the issues we were already having with the cart we were sharing, it was really a no-brainer to at least give it a try. But I certainly didn't anticipate that it would completely streamline my range trips as a whole. I thought to myself, this will be a great opportunity to use at matches, and I can even sit on it so I don't need to bring a chair. But what it ultimately ended up doing was a lot more than that. It has made getting to and from the range so much faster. Usually it's, 30 minutes to just gather everything together in order to physically leave to go to the range. Some things would be in this room, and other things would be in the garage, and other things would be in the vehicle, etc. But now everything has somewhere to be, so it just stays there or gets put back there after we use it. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the range having completely forgotten a crucial tool like my shot timer, my staple gun, and yes, I have even forgotten ammo. Now, whenever I'm headed to the range, I literally go to my safe, I grab my gun, or whatever guns I'm taking with me, put it in my cart, and then I leave. That's it. That right there is why I have been so thrilled with this cart. It's not just convenient on the range, but it actually has helped me to get to the range and to leave the range faster. I realize that whole thing, if you're still here, probably sounded like an infomercial, but genuinely, I don't have a single complaint about this cart. I do, however, have plans to buy a few more accessories for it to increase its convenience factor even more. One of them would be the umbrella holder and sleeve, because Lord knows this Arizona heat is absolutely going to try to unalive me this summer, and I will want somewhere to hide away from the beating sun. And then I also want to pick up the cart table for loading mags and eating sandwiches. What would be a funnier thing to say is loading mags and making sandwiches, because I'm a girl, but I wouldn't be in the kitchen. I'd be on the range making a sandwich on the range. Get it? Now, only you can really decide if getting a cart like this makes sense for you and your purposes, but for me personally, it's been one of the single most useful tools that I've added in a really long time, and I would gladly pick up another one if the need were to ever arise. S3 Range Carts did offer you guys a $25 off coupon. I don't make any commission or anything off of it. It's just a courtesy that S3 wanted to offer to those of you who found their products through this video. So thanks guys for watching. Please let me know if you end up picking up one of these and if it streamlines your range trips the same way it has mine.